Right. I'm Brambro, back with another Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts episode in the 1940 Britain campaign. Trying to take a look at some of the stuff from the latest patch. A lot of which I think we've seen. I think we have seen that the AI still retreats, or at least kind of maintains its distance. I don't know that I'm seeing a huge difference in AI behavior, to be honest. We took a look at the new torpedo avoidance mechanic, which does seem to work, but also seems to throw the affected ships into a little bit of AI confusion that you have to do a workaround of putting it in AI and then taking it back out to correct. We are seeing that transports and convoy battles are now awarding victory points. Early on in this campaign, we did get some of the larger battles that were promised. Since then, however, it's kind of seemed more of the same. Some duels, some convoy battles with a couple of ships on both sides. Haven't seen as many. I think we've seen three of kind of a multi, like 4, 5, 6 ships per side sort of battles. We've seen 3 of them. We did see with our destroyers, you can now rename individual ships in the fleet window. These little destroyers were not all named, O names. Renamed 3 of these. And then there was a line in the notes about significant AI auto design improvement. And I'm not perceiving that the AI ships we're up against are up to kind of what players would typically design. But they haven't seemed quite the pushovers that a lot of the prior campaigns' AI ships look like either. I had been accustomed, I think a lot of people have been accustomed to seeing their battleships just completely wreck enemy AI battleships in duels without taking very much damage. And that hasn't been the case here. Our battleships have done well when facing German battleships, but they've taken quite a bit of damage in return. And so I think there's what we've seen kind of supports that is delivered as described. In any case, the war is going well. Almost 20,000 VP versus less than 1,000. And torpedoes have, despite the kind of the trouble that we've had in a few battles with torpedoes, partially due to me playing the battles too fast, we haven't actually lost many ships to that. And so the war is going well. I'm a little surprised that we have not yet imposed a blockade. And that is probably because, despite sinking a few German battleships, 2 German battleships, Germany does still have 7 capital ships to our 6. I had hoped that a lot of maximum range light cruisers would counteract that. So far they have not. But we do have a number of... We've got 4 more battleships coming in the relatively near future. 2 4 months out, 2 more 8 months out. And there's also a couple more of those encounter class light cruisers coming as well. All right. Let's see. For right now, we've got a couple of destroyers repairing after their successful convoy attack, which was this month. haven't advanced the turn since the end of that battle. And they're going to be back next month, so I'll leave all these in sea control. Omicron is sitting in Berry, which is not where she needs to be. So let's move her back over to Yarmouth. And I don't think anything else should be sitting in a non-North Sea port. One battleship, but that's because she's still repairing. And Duncan will be back next month as well. We can put Audacious back on sea control. Her repair is done. Okay, let's see what happens in November 1941. This is the second time that the Germans have sought a peace treaty. We're going to recommend to our government not to accept. No battles this month. Let's see if the government follows our recommendation. War continues. And another convoy battle, another one almost in the same exact spot as the last couple. Our ships, and especially our destroyers, are pressing these convoy attacks right up to the harbor entrances of Emden and Wilhelmshaven. I mean, right up to the channel entrances just off the Frisian Islands. And they're doing it again here. 12 transports defended by 1 battlecruiser. And going to fight this just like the last one. We'll kind of maintain some distance and tear up these transports. And Prince Adalbert will do whatever she is able to, which might be quite a lot. However, for once, we're facing a German warship enemy without torpedoes. This is the one German class of ship without torpedoes. But she's got 14-inch guns. If we take a smack from one of those, that's going to be trouble. The whole idea of this destroyer squadron that I built was specifically anti-convoy. And so that's what I'm going to do. However, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to try to line all these destroyers up in a way that maybe we can get a simultaneous, get multiple torpedoes in the water and see if we can't hit that battlecruiser. From some distance. I'm not going to run them right up on the battlecruiser. I don't have too many of these destroyers. I don't particularly want to lose 1 or 2 or 3 of them. "16 kilometers out. May as well smoke up. No chance of incoming torpedoes. I can play this battle a little faster than the last couple. I had slowed down to make the torpedoes easier to manage, following some suggestions from viewers, which were correct. I'm just going to let these destroyers pick their targets. Each one has 4 dual 4-inch turrets that I chose specifically for beating up transports. And they've been doing a fine job of it. Oh, Obedient took a pretty big 14-inch smack there. Still a minute. No. Every time I say what the length is, it changes. Okay. Well, we lost Obedient. .2 kilometer range on our torpedoes. Okay, we got all the transports. And Prince Adalbert kind of knows what's coming here. And you know what? She's a 37-knot ship. Although she's not going 37 knots at the moment. I wonder why. I hadn't really perceived that the AI will consciously or deliberately drop to cruise speed to help accuracy. I've never really noticed that they do that, but that I can't say I was really looking that close. Maybe they do. If they do, it's pretty good. Prince Adalbert does have few bulkheads. If we got a torpedo into her, and the few torpedoes these destroyers have, they are 23-inch, pretty big. That does not mean it would be enough to sink her, and I've lost one destroyer and I'm on the verge of losing another. Okay. We sink the transports. It's still going to be a defeat, I think, because of loss of Obedient and very heavy damage to Observer. Who is not dewatering those spaces, which means she's not going to fix that propulsion damage either. However, it doesn't look like Prince Adalbert is turning to chases either. But can still apparently see a destroyer at a distance which a destroyer cannot see a battlecruiser. Right. Okay, well, not as good as the last couple of convoy attack battles. Yeah. Well, it still counted it as a victory, despite Because we got all 12 of the transports is why. So, not the best, not the worst. Okay, Observer is going to be out for a while. Or whoever it was. Observer. 3 months. Obedient still appears in the fleet list. She won't disappear from the sinking until after we advance. I'm going to pop the destroyers back down to in being for now. It did skip over Obedient when I selected a group. Wait for Observer to repair. And I've talked about destroyers, cost per ton, all that before, but I like having this little group. I'm going to go ahead and build a replacement for Obedient. The Gurkha. How about I am going to name the Oscar. Specifically named for the Sesame Street character, the Muppet Oscar the Grouch. That's her namesake. And will it let me actually, yeah, it'll let me put it directly in Yarmouth. And Omicron needs to go back to Yarmouth. Omega needs to go back, and Observer will need to go back when her repair is done in a few months. Again, there's no game reason to do that. I just like doing it. And that's good enough. All right. We're done with 1941. Pressing on into the new year. Double check again. Should be getting pretty close to these new battleships coming. 2 months out. I would suspect that when Bulwark and Albemarle commission here in a couple months, that will probably pop the blockade. We shall see. Let me check something else. These have a 1,500 crew. We've got enough in the crew pool to fully man them when they come in. And they finished a month early. I've noticed that tends to happen a lot with capital ships. They'll get to 2 months and then they finish. And I see it often enough that it's not random. There's a reason why that's happening. I don't know why, but it happens a lot with battleships and battlecruisers. Let's just make sure they got manned as they should. They did. Now, Bulwark came in as green. Albemarle is cadet. Let's sort these. 5 months for these two Hindustans. Looks like we've got several cruisers. Quite a few cruisers in a battle, in this convoy battle. Observer still, and a destroyer. Huh. This convoy battle is just off Yarmouth. And we are defending. Got a bunch of cruisers and a destroyer defending 4 transports against Prince Adalbert and 3 heavies. Okay, that's going to have to be a slow time compression battle. Okay, the 3 heavies are in their own. They're in their own battle line. Okay. The cruisers are in screen. We know from the past that leaving them there will just be all kinds of problems, collisions and so forth. But if I just put him in battle line right now, then Manchester is going to plow right across the heavy cruiser line. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is town. Peel off, head back this way, and then Manchester will join you astern of Roxborough. I want to maintain distance, so let's cut the heavy cruisers back over this way. Oh, wrong one. And right now, I'm just trying to keep the ships from kind of getting in each other's way. It looks, or getting in the middle of the transports. So it's not really tactical as much as just own ship deconfliction. For now, I'm just going to move Omega kind of in this direction. The heavies will move over this way. The lights will join up with each other over here with Omega behind them. And that'll do for now. And let me make sure I turn off all the torpedoes. And I think for now at these distances, I'm just going to have everyone firing HE for the moment. I think we do ×2 for now. Okay, there's Prince Adalbert, who we are not firing on. Right now our guys are focus firing on what has to be one of the heavy cruisers, and I think that's fine. Matter of fact, I'm just going to tell them to keep doing that. They're at 10 kilometers, so we're already in a little bit of a torpedo situation here. Okay. Manchester did go astern of Roxborough as predicted. Get these light cruisers turned around. Good Hope is the one taking the fire at the moment. Not much I can do about that. Heavy cruisers cannot smoke. It is very possible that there are already torpedo spreads in the water headed our way. Not guaranteed, just possible. Oh, Good Hope is taking a bit of a shellacking here. I want the... Yep, there's some torpedoes now. Which appear to be aimed at... Kind of looks like they're going to be a little bit behind. Kent is okay where she is. But if I turn Good Hope around, I don't know if that really helps her. Okay. It looks like it's about as tight a turn either way. Let's get Roxburgh going back this direction. And turn around the light cruisers, partially just to keep them out of Roxburgh's way. Where's that destroyer? Oh. Actually taking fire. Let's not have that. Just open range. Smoke up. Kind of dithering on what to do with Kent and Good Hope. I think I'm just going to let them power through. I think they're going to miss. No, we're spotting more torpedoes over here. I don't know if Good Hope is going to outrun that, but she certainly can't turn. I think I'm going to wait until they're a little closer and then just turn her and try to comb in a gap between. Like, turn now. Something like that. Oh. Sometimes you get these little wave striations that... Oh. Okay. Roxborough. No, your best bet is just keep going forward. Keep going. I don't know. I don't know. Try to slow down. That's not gonna... No, just... Yeah, I'm indecisive. I got it. Nope, she's gonna miss. Okay. The heavy cruisers' torpedoes are not that fast. I've not been paying attention over here. Okay, Kent looks clear. Good Hope. Yeah, just steady up. It looks like there's going to be a gap right here, and you're in it. These torpedoes are maybe going to hit some transports. Oh, there's some more torps over here that I think aren't, it's not going to hit Kent. Here's the most dangerous one, but I think Good Hope's on a good course. This one's going to miss. This one's going to miss. That's a transport got popped. Swiftshire's about to get popped. Well, we're not doing a very good job of protecting our transports. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were aiming at. Oop, oop, oop. Good Hope, why don't you here, come over this way a little bit. Eee, that's going to be close. Oh no, okay. Well, we've got mini bulkheads. Okay, these two compartments are destroyed, so when they fill up, they're going to stay full. Probably not going to fix this propulsion damage. This compartment's green, though. It looks like they've already taken care of the flooding here. Okay, Good Hope is just retreat and stay retreating. Meanwhile, okay, where's Kent? Well, everyone's still firing on Groff's Bay. And where is Roxborough? Tell you what, Roxborough, come astern of the lights, just so you don't get in the way. 12-kilometer range at 9 kilometers. Let's make sure you're targeting the correct one. You are. Omega is still the target of much of their fire. Torpedoes away from town and from Manchester. No, okay, where's Roxborough? Here we go. I'll come back over this way. Make sure the light cruisers aren't in your way. Do the same. Torpedoes fired. Where's Kent? That's Good Hope. Doesn't look like Good Hope is taking any more fire. That's good news. And she's making 20 knots. Well, no, I was wrong. Here. I know you're retreating, but you're retreat from the battle cruiser. That's your threat there, Mr. Good Hope. Or your biggest threat. The one that's shooting at you, anyway. I'd still rather have Prince Adalbert shooting at Good Hope just because of distance than at Kent. Let's get Kent moving away from her as well. Yeah, it looks like our torpedoes didn't do. Yeah, they're probably astern. She's still taking a fair amount of fire. Everybody's still doing HE? Yeah. 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 Okay. I don't see that any of them have recently fired torpedoes, so I don't think, well, Adalbert certainly hasn't. I don't think there's any unseen spreads in the water at the moment. Nope, Good Hope is in trouble. More propulsion damage and just a whisker away from sinking. And when she does go, Kent is going to be, she's already taking fire from secondaries, it looks like. Graf Spee down to 33% structure. Where is Kent or Roxborough? 48% yellow in the main belt. I'm just gonna keep. Let's have her try some AP for a little while. Not seeing any reason to smoke with the light cruisers. They're not taking fire at the moment. Good Hope hanging in there. 14.5 knots. Slowing. So she's coasting down to some slower speed at the moment. Okay, Limburg has just fired a bunch of torpedoes. I'm gonna guess that Roxborough is their most likely target. Just have Roxborough do a flip around. Ships are kind of scattered. Don't want to scatter them anymore. I'm just going to flip the light cruisers around behind Rock. Well, no, that's dumb because she's doing that for torpedoes. Keep going this way. Down to 20% on Graf's Bay. Good Hope hanging in there. At this point, she's just basically serving to eat up 14-inch shells. Which, oh my gosh. Prince Adalbert's got a lot of them. You got increased, yeah, increased shell ammo. She ain't gonna run dry anytime soon. Limburg just fired again. As far as I don't think we've spotted any torpedoes. I think they were probably fired at Roxborough, but I don't know that. I'm just saying that because, you know, they're targeting Roxborough with their guns, so I think it's a, you know, probably that's who they've targeted with the torpedoes too. She fired some when Roxborough was going this way, but that last launch had to come after Roxborough had turned. So I'm going to flip her around again. Okay, what's going on here? No. You fired torpedoes at... No, those were fired at Good Hope. Or Kent. Okay, well, you're obviously not going to outrun anything, so try to line up to Combe and Kent. Flip around this way. Kent's clear of these, but there's more torpedoes over here. I don't really like turning Kent back closer to Prince Adalbert. Okay, now Kent is messed up by the anti-collision AI, which, I mean, she's completely free and clear of this transport, but because she might blunder right into some torpedoes. Maybe not. Okay. Head off this way. Geez, kill this thing. 9% structure. I think these guys can turn around and get closer to Roxborough. I thought those torpedoes were fired this way. They weren't. They were fired toward Good Hope. Speaking of whom... Yeah. Okay, so that, at least for this first spread, that worked. Kind of ease back on a parallel track. There's some more back here. Kent can kind of parallel that track, I think. Another transport goes down. Even if we sink Graf Spee, and if by some miracle Good Hope survives, this may still go down as a defeat because of that. I don't know. We'll see. I forgot what I was doing with you. Okay, yeah. They're turning back around to get closer to Roxborough. That's fine. I don't believe these have taken any damage. How's Omega doing? Still creeping away at 11 knots. No, that's wrong ship. 27 knots. Hmm. Are there still torpedoes back here? No, yeah, there are. I can't afford to turn Good Hope away to give her a better angle against the incoming fire, because she has to maintain this course because of these torpedoes, and actually she needs to come a little bit to the left if she can. She's still shooting. She's done 33 hits for 695 damage. Okay. She's not gonna... That torpedo's no longer an issue. I could probably turn now, and the torpedo will be... But I'm not gonna risk that. Jeez. Die. Okay. There goes Good Hope. Which means Kent is now going to be the target for 14-inch fire. I need to get her turned away. These torpedoes may have run... Yeah, okay. She can... Those torpedoes are not a concern. Where is Adalbert? So, okay, that'll do. I think we've lost all our transports. Yep. And we've traded heavy cruiser for heavy cruiser. No, we haven't yet. Graf Spee is still hanging on. I think it'd be overkill to shoot torpedoes at her. She's at 2%. And Roxborough is getting ricochets with the AP. Let's go back to HE. It's the structure we need to get down anyway. We're not really trying to get a penetration for flooding. And that should just about do it right there. How's Kent doing? As expected, the 14-inch guns shift to Kent. Are these guys doing something that makes sense? I think so. .3%. Oh, okay. Where are these headed? They're headed for Roxburgh, I think. Yeah, they sure are. I think your best bet is to turn into them. Yeah. Let's do that. Finally. Okay. Alright, let's work on Limburg. The lights are 19 miles out. Fort, you know, they're not going to be in range for a while. Zoom back over to Kent just in time to take her, see her take a big smack. Well, Adalbert is headed away. Not quite as clear for Hipper and Limburg. Roxburgh has still got plenty of ammo. This battle actually hasn't been going that long. It's just slower time compression. I don't think there's any torpedoes in the water at the moment that we haven't already addressed. Adalbert no longer spotted, but of course she can see us. Of course. That actually, I think, bothers me more than torpedo stuff. That and I've talked about it before, but just this idea that ships can spot for each other with a precision that it basically amounts to fire control quality information is just not accurate. I mean, the fact that Adalbert would know that there's a cruiser right around in here based on voice reports from Limburg or Hipper, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But good enough to actually fire on? No, I don't think so. Now, she does have her own radar. That could be a factor as well. That makes more sense and could be what's actually happening here. But we've all seen in these battles that ships can fire blind on stuff that's like spotted by transports in earlier eras without radar. So although I don't think the game models the radar. I haven't seen my own ships with radar firing on green blips instead of actually spotted ships. So, I mean, the radar does extend the spotting range. Okay. Primarily because I don't want to lose Kent to 14-inch fire. Which eventually she's going to hit her with a good one. Because of that, I think I would prefer to disengage and leave it at a trade of heavy cruisers if we possibly can. I think we just took one torpedo hit on Good Hope, who was already kind of maneuvering challenged at the time. And then there were some on merchants as well, but I can't control them. Was that 14-inch fire? Or was that 9-inch from the cruisers? I think that was 9. I think that was 9-inch. What's Kent doing? Just doing okay. I think I can speed it. Let's go ×3. As a matter of fact, I am... Yeah, nope, she's still firing. But is she firing at Kent? Yeah, okay, in battle. I'm content with this. It was kind of, matter of fact, the game even adjudicated it as a draw. Trade of heavy cruisers. About the same victory points on each side. We did lose all of our transports, which it would be interesting to see if there was a change to our transport percentage as a result. But I haven't actually looked at that percentage for quite a few turns. I don't have anything to reference whether it's changed or not. Where is our... What are we doing there? 105%. I mean, even with full 100%, we're only replacing 0.3% per turn. That's as good as you can do in 1940. This number, this rate of change for how much you affect with your slider, gets less and less and less as you go through the eras, right? Like in 1890, your slider will influence your trader percentage, well, a lot more than this. I think almost 2% per turn if you really max it out. 1.5% or something. And then for each era, it's less and less and less. So now, I guess that's just to reflect that the overall size of the combined merchant marine is so much larger by now that you're really kind of building a similar number of ships, but it's just a much smaller percentage of the combined total. So even maxed out, if you're really taking it in the shorts for transport sinkings, especially once submarines come into the game, I guess it's possible that you could be maxed out and, well, it's possible now, like if you're under blockade, to be fully maxed out and still be falling behind. Okay, I think that will do it for this episode. And we had a draw. But, you know, I mean that means that the Germans came here off the coast of Yarmouth, kind of countering the raids we had done over here earlier. And they did sink a few transports, but you know, they lost a heavy cruiser in the process. Not the best. We can live with that. And next episode, we'll see what happens in February 1942. Thank you for watching.